The amount of annoyance and anger that I have towards E. Jean Carroll cannot be measured. And this has nothing to do with politics. So if you're going to come here and say that I'm trying to simp for Orange Jesus, leave me alone. This has everything to do with assault victims and them looking like a joke. Because I've had people in my family who've been assaulted. But the way that she's acted, it's just disgusting, and it's deranged, and it's absolutely unspeakable and unforgivable. Take a listen to how she acted after her court case was won.
Of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours,
Nothing.
Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right, okay.
That's a joke.
Although if me fishing in France could do something for women's rights, I would take the hit. You know, I would obviously take one for the team. All right, let me as if you need persuasion in that regard.
That right there is disgusting. It's despicable. It's repulsive. Her attitude is just grotesque. Rachel Maddow's attitude is grotesque. They're not acting as if somebody was assaulted. They're not acting as if somebody was abused. No, they're acting as if, they just got a big payday and they're all going to reap the benefits of this payday. Does that make any sense to you? Does it make any sense to you at all? Because it doesn't to me. That sounds disgusting and despicable and repulsive. But listen to what Carol had to say in regards to not being a victim in an interview with Anderson Cooper a year ago.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
She even went so far as to make Anderson Cooper uncomfortable. She went so far as to make Cooper uncomfortable. And Cooper's the one who's on her side. Make that make sense. But then there's also a video clip that has just surfaced of another CNN interview, and here's where she states, this was after the court case, here's where she states that she was paid off by a Democratic donor. You be the judge.
About a big Democratic donor funding part of this case. Was there a reason it wasn't disclosed, and did you view this as political in any way?
No. I just completely forgot that he even existed.
In your deposition?
Yes, in my deposition.
So a giant Democratic donor gave her money to file this court case against Donald Trump. We have lawyers that have been open about wanting to take Trump down in any means possible. And this case, which was filed years and years, 20 years later, she could have filed it any other time she wanted to, but it was right when Trump ran for office. Yeah. We're supposed to just believe that all of a sudden she remembered that she was assaulted by Trump. Really? And this has zero to do with whether you like Trump or don't like Trump. I'm not really a huge Trump fan. So, like I said, this is not really, supporting Orange Jesus. This is me just looking at the facts, looking at what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And she does not make any sense whatsoever. The people who are going after her clearly have a hatred for Donald Trump. They do. I used this example. I don't really like Rosie O'Donnell. At all. Not even in the slightest. Trump, I don't mind. Rosie, I despise. But if these claims were being reared towards Rosie O'Donnell and there was no hard, concrete evidence against her, as much as I despise Rosie, I would have to take her side. I would have to. If this whole thing were to happen, but it happened to Rosie O'Donnell, I would still take her side. I still would think she's a horrible person, but this is making a joke and a mockery out of sexual assault and sexual abuse, and that's not okay. At all. It's just not. So, joking around and laughing about this stuff, treating it as if it's a game, not taking it seriously, getting a huge donation from a Democrat for doing all this, it is disgusting and despicable. And for her to say, I just forgot he existed in my deposition. Really? Because I'm sorry, I could have all the memory problems in the world, and I don't think I would ever forget somebody who donated a large chunk of money to me for filing a court case. I just don't think I could do that. And I take these types of things very seriously because when it comes out that you're a liar and when it comes out that you manipulated the system and when it comes out that the courts were being manipulated in your favor, it makes it really hard for real actual victims to come forward, doesn't it? It really does. And that's my problem. That's my problem with this whole dang thing. Your political side doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. I would be making the same video if it was Joe Biden. And I hate and despise Joe Biden. But then again, we live in a world where people don't really care about abuse victims. They just care about getting one over their political rival. And that's something that has never sat right with me, and it never will sit right with me. And it's the type of thing that we need to look at and be more cautious of. Doesn't matter if you're on the left, doesn't matter if you're on the right, doesn't matter if you're in the middle. We need to look at this case as an example of how corrupt the court systems are. Because they are. And just think about it this way. If they can go after your political rival one way, imagine if the pendulum swung to the Republican side and the Republicans did the exact same thing to your favorite person. It would be just as wrong, just as despicable, and just as disgusting, but I wouldn't be too shocked. Thanks for watching. E. Jean Carroll is not a victim in any way, shape, or form. And it's disgusting, despicable, and sad that this is how we're choosing to go after our political rivals. Instead of playing fair, instead of trying to go off of your merit, you have to utilize the court systems against you. I had somebody that I was arguing with say, so you're just saying that the girl who made the claim that he assaulted her at 16 and Miss Carroll and all these other women just so happen to be coincidental that they filed the claims at the same time. Yeah. When it had to do with him running for office, and this person even admitted, well, we thought Trump was a joke candidate, so that's why we didn't do anything. So if you thought he was a joke candidate, that's what determined whether or not you would file those lawsuits? Is if he's a joke candidate? Because I'm sorry, joke candidate or not, serious candidate or not, if I believed in my heart of hearts that somebody assaulted me, I would do everything in my power to call that out years ago. And not just when he's running for president. Thanks for watching. This is Gabe of Radio.